Okay, in today's lesson, you are going to be learning about two-way tables, and this is the last lesson in the statistics unit and the last unit of the year. So congratulations to you. In this lesson, you will be able to construct a two-way table and interpret relative frequencies. Okay, a two-way table shows data from one sample group as it relates to two different categories. The same information from the Venn diagram, this was on a page in the book, so don't worry about it, is shown below on a two-way table, where one category is represented by rows and the other is represented by columns. The two categories in the table shown are play a sport and on the honor roll. So we're talking about kids at a school playing a sport and not playing a sport, and if they're on the honor roll and not on the honor roll. So you can kind of see that kids who play a sport, out of those kids that play a sport, 250 are on the honor roll. The kids that are playing a sport that are not on the honor roll are 245. And the total kids playing sports is 295. Kids who don't play a sport, 115. And out of those that don't play a sport that are not on the honor roll, that's 30. And the total that don't play a sport are 145. Total students would be 440. 365 on the honor roll, 75 not. That's a pretty nice statistics. I don't feel like we would have quite as many on our honor roll as this data represents. So let's take a look at another example. Philippe surveyed students at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own an MP3 player. There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but own an MP3. 9 students do not own either device. Construct a two-way table summarizing the data. So first you create a table using the two categories, cell phones and MP3 players. Those are your titles here. Those are your columns. Fill in the table with given values. Then you want to have cell phone, no cell phone. Then you fill in what you know. Okay, use reasoning to complete the table. Remember, the totals are for each row and column. The column labeled total should have the same sum as the row labeled total. So to do this, you would say, okay, so you've got 78 students that own a cell phone, and out of those 78 students, 57 also have an MP3 player. Okay, so you would say, well, if there were 78 students total, 78 minus 57 is 21. So 21 would, I guess that's down here, 21 have no MP3 player. 13 out of the 78 do not, 70 total students with MP3 players. So we found out that 13 have an MP3 but no cell phone. So that makes 70 students total with MP3s and 30 with no MP3s, which gives us 100 total students, okay? And with no cell phone, we have 22. Okay, do this problem to find out how well you're doing. So there's 150 total students at summer camp. Out of those 150 total students, okay, so you might want to say that we already know that there's 150 total students. Okay, 71 signed up for swimming. Fill that in where it belongs. There's a total of 62 children that signed up for canoeing, and 28 of them also signed up for swimming. Construct a two-way table showing the data. Okay, so try that. Fill it in. Make sure you show this. Show this to your teacher so we can check it all. Okay, and then go on to the next page. Interpreting relative frequencies. A two-way table can show relative frequencies for rows or for columns rather than actual values. By analyzing the relative frequencies in a two-way table, you can determine possible associations between the two variables. You can also make predictions. Okay, so find and interpret the relative frequencies of students in the survey from example 1 by row. To find the relative frequencies by row, write the ratios of each value to the total in that row, round to the nearest hundredth. So what that means is, for cell phones, for example, you would take 57 students out of a total of 78 and calculate that to a decimal, which is 70.73, which is 73%. No MP3s is 21 out of 78, or 0.27, 27%. They should add up to the whole, which is 1.0, or 100%. For no cell phone, you take 13 out of 22. So 13 over 22, that gives you 0.59. 9 out of 22 are 0.41 with no MP3 for a total of 1.0. Based on the relative frequency value of 0.73 in one of the cells, you can imply that most students that own a cell phone also own an MP3 because it's a pretty high percentage. The data also suggests that over half of the students that do not own a cell phone will own an MP3 player because everybody's got to have their music, right? So find and interpret the relative frequencies of the students in the survey by column, round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Okay, so we have 57 students, and you want to go with the total students by column. So the total by column was 70 with MP3s and 30 with no MP3s. So you want to bring that total, oh, they have it over here for you, sorry. So you want 57 out of 70, 13 out of 70. You calculate your percentages, okay? And do the same for the no MP3. Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary, okay? Give that a shot. If you have any questions, make sure to ask. And that's really all there is to this, okay? Bye for now.